when I'm working out, I always like think about the bad problems I have in my rider position. Like I'm like, okay, ear, shoulder, hip, heel, look up, hands down, open your chest. So like just focusing on all those quote unquote bad habits, it's going to help you to get rid of those habits when you're in the saddle. Hello everyone, I'm Amelia. This is Chris. Today we have a bag full of tricks for you.
Absolutely.
So we have a bunch, we have 5 to be exact, tips and tricks to help out our riders over 55. And one thing that I think is so cool about this sport is that you can continue to improve and learn even as you get older. Did you know, Chris, that the oldest female Olympian went to the Olympics when she was 70 years old?
Was it in riding?
Yes, dressage.
Wow, awesome.
Lorna Johnstone. So that's what I think is cool, is that we're always learning, we're always improving. And Chris, you were my online student first.
Yes, absolutely.
And now I teach you here in person at your beautiful facility, but it's been really fun to see your progress in the last 6 months.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
So if you look back at the videos from the first week when you were here and what I'm doing today, it's just been a lot of progress and a lot of hard work, but rewarding hard work too.
Yes.
So it's super fun.
Yes. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to have Chris pull things out of the bag and discuss them to help you out. And then I'd love it if you can comment below and let us know which of these 5 items most helped you with your riding. I'm also doing a back to school 5-day riding boot camp, August 26th to 30th. So make sure to RSVP and save your seat to that, because you're never too old to go back to school. So I'm going to give you the honors, and I'm going to have you pull out our first trick out of the bag.
First trick
is a helmet.
Safety first.
Safety first. So
I'm a lifelong pony clubber, so I'm a graduate A pony clubber, so big time safety is a big thing here. It's a rule here at the barn that no one rides or lunges without a helmet, so got to keep you only have one of these.
Yeah. And especially, did you start riding as a kid?
I did.
How old were you?
Well, I got a pony when I was like a kid, like 4 or 5 years old, and just got on one side and fell off the other for a lot of years, but formally riding probably about 10 or 11 when I joined Pony Club.
Yeah, but that's different. When you're a kid, you can experiment and fall off and it doesn't really matter. As you get older, you don't bounce as well. No. So wearing your helmet, but also I'm a big fan of groundwork. I think groundwork is a really important tool, making sure that your horse is relaxed and focused before you get on, taking baby steps, staying consistent, really getting the help that you need, because you can't afford to get hurt. Okay, awesome. What is next in our bag of tricks? Oh, you're going for the laptop.
The laptop, absolutely.
So I know that for older people, even for all of us, right? Technology is a pain. Trying to learn something new is really frustrating, but it's cool that you can actually learn to ride online, and that doing things like this, like watching this video, it gives you ideas and things to think about. And you started with me online, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah, and before you were my in-person trainer, you were my online trainer. And here's the thing, when you're sitting there on a horse, for me, I am trying to control my body, trying to control the horse, trying to listen to everything my instructor's saying, and I might assimilate 10 or 20% of the lesson, but the rest of it's gone. And maybe you can watch it back, but what I found was that I could find a course that Amelia had, or a lesson that she could go over, and work on those things, and especially working on the training scale and learning all of the training scale class was exponentially magnificent for me, but being able to look at those things off the saddle when you could really just think about the concepts and see it, and then know when you got it right, that to me was even more valuable than some of my in-person lessons.
Yeah, really understanding the theory and the system, and also, when you have limited time in the saddle, when you only get to ride 1 or 2 horses, but you really want to make more progress because you don't have as much time, then online learning is amazing.
Absolutely.
And I never thought I would be able to help people online, but it does really work.
It really does.
All right, what are you going to pull out of the bag next? This is like our magic trick bag here.
Okay, I'm going for this one.
Oh, good, yeah, weights. I think that like for me, I ride a lot of horses, but it's also really important to do exercises out of the saddle because we all have had injuries.
Yes.
We all have asymmetries. We all have issues in our bodies. And when you can think about them off of your horse, then when you get on your horse, your body does what it's supposed to do. So what is your kind of like, what do you do fitness wise?
So I work with an equine physiotherapist. So she does body evaluations and then she sends me blocks of work that I need to do. So she'll look at a video of me riding and she'll say, okay, for me, Amelia can tell you, hip mobility is a big thing. And for a lot of riders over 50, that is a big thing. And it also is huge because it helps you stay mobile as you age. So working on this is like a bonus because it's going to help me stay mobile as I get older, but it also helps me follow in the canter, not like you say that 800 times a lesson. But, there's different exercises like being able to strengthen your back and strengthen the quad and strengthen all of the supporting areas around your hip, makes your hips last longer and makes you ride.
Yeah. And I always, when I'm working out, I always like think about the bad problems I have in my rider position. Like I'm like, okay, ear, shoulder, hip, heel, look up, hands down, open your chest. So like just focusing on all those quote unquote bad habits in the saddle, you have the same habits when you're out of the saddle. And so if you can think about all those things when you're exercising, then it's going to help you to get rid of those habits when you're in the saddle. You can't only think about your body when you're in the saddle. It's not fair to your horse. And
100%.
This really helps.
Okay, what's next? Ooh, this is a good one.
Oh, gosh. My dog, Messy, is obsessed with this thing. If he was down here, he would be having... Now push the little button. Push it the other way, and it neighs.
Oh my gosh, this little tail.
Okay, so if you're wondering what the heck this is about, this is about... I can't turn
Stop.
Okay, so this little toy is to help you remember your why. And I think it's really important. Like I have a rider in my Strides program. She's in her 80s and she was like, I love riding. I love horses. I've always loved horses since I was a kid. And I think it's important that we have, like I have big goals, of course, but you always have to remember your why. Like why did you start riding? That little kid in you that just loves horses. So what is your why? Why do you have horses?
Why do I have horses? I don't know if my heart would beat without them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around them my whole life and I've always had a horse in my backyard. And now that this is my backyard, it's even better. Yeah. But I just think that it makes me whole. Yeah. You know, I just love them very much. And this is what I love to do with them. And the connection that you get in dressage. I think I've done every sport you can do through Pony Club. I've ridden jumpers, I've done hunters, I've evented. I actually did mounted games for a while, which is really crazy and fun, but dressage is where I really fell in love. I was training for my A and I fell in love with dressage, and the connection that you get is just unlike anything else for me.
For sure, for sure. All right, next in our bag. 2 more things left. Don't forget to comment below and let us know which of these 5 things was your favorite, or maybe all of them.
This is a good one.
Okay, reins. So one thing, this is for all of you who have a tendency to ride with long reins, like your reins are always slipping out of your hands, or if you're older and you have a little bit of arthritis in your hands, I love these thick rubber reins. I love them even more if they have stoppers. But these are really helpful so that you don't have to grip so much, but that you can still have that nice connection and not let the rein slide. Do you use rubber reins like this?
I do. Some of mine actually have just rubber on the inside.
Yeah.
So that they look pretty in the show ring, but they're still just as grippy.
Yeah.
And there's even some that have like little indents.
Yeah, those are the Correct Connect ones. Yeah. I like those too.
There's a lot of different technology out there. So I find that when my hands hurt, the thicker the rein, the easier it is for me to hold on to.
Yeah. But especially, do the things like equipment-wise that are easy and make you comfortable in the saddle. Like make sure that your saddle fits, have the right stirrups, have the right equipment, get good boots that fit. It's not worth it to try to like overcome a bad fitting saddle or, not having the right boots. Like you really need to do those things that make you comfortable so that way when you're riding, that you don't have to be overcoming equipment or anything like that. Oh, we saved the best for last.
Yay.
A mirror.
So how's a mirror help?
Well, this is like a little bit out there, but think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And your self-talk is a big part of riding. And I know it's something that I think all of us struggle with, right? Because we're so type A. And so it's really easy to be down on yourself and just be like, I suck, I'm too old, I'm not getting any better, I should quit. Like all those negative things that come through your mind, and then they become really debilitating because if you're always like negative with yourself, you're not going to make progress. You're not going to have fun anymore. You're going to forget your why. So I asked Chris before this because Chris is like, you're very self-critical. You watch a lot of videos and you're like, oh, I have so much to improve, but yet somehow you always like try and stay positive and don't let that get you down. How do you balance that?
Well, I am really hypercritical of how I look, and I don't have the perfect body type for riding. I've struggled with my weight. I struggle because my torso is too long, so my reins always look I don't fit the picture, because if I have my reins right, my elbows are out here. If I have my reins here, my elbows right, then my reins are too long, so it's really difficult. So I really struggled with a lot of that, and I try to find those things, and instead of hating myself for it, giving myself homework. Yeah. Like those are the things that I need to focus on. How do I improve that? How do I take that out of the saddle? When I look at my videos and I'm mad about this thing or that thing, or I don't do this well, that's the thing that I take home. I take it out of the barn and fix it myself, because that's not my horse's fault. So those are the things where I can try to be a better person for him.
Yeah. That's a really good tip, is like rather than focusing on all your flaws, like you certainly see your flaws, but then you're like, okay, here's an action plan. Like here's the steps that I can take to make it better. And also, remember that we're always learning and we're always improving. It's like this, you're never going to be perfect. And that's one thing that I think is really 100%. Cool about our sport is like, I'm still learning. I still take lessons. I still watch my video and like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But the education and the learning is what makes it fun, and like striving towards that and working towards improving. So, all right, that was great. Thank you so much,
You're
Chris.
so welcome.
Comment below, let us know which of these 5 objects you loved the most. And don't forget to RSVP for Bootcamp. It's starting August 26th through the 30th, and we're gonna have a bunch more takeaways and tips and tricks to help you out with your riding. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching this video. Bye.
Bye.
Announcement, get ready. I'm doing a totally free 5-day back to school boot camp. If you need help with getting back to basics and back to loving your horse, then this 5-day riding boot camp is for you. Boot camp starts August 26th and it runs through August 30th. All you need to do is click the link below to save your seat. Here's the thing, riding is really hard. So if you're feeling like you're stuck, maybe you've kind of given up on those goals that you set at the beginning of the year and you need a little bit of a reset, this boot camp is for you. One thing that I love about riding is that you're never done learning and you're never too old to go back to school. It's time to get out your backpack, pack your books, and click the link below to save your seat for my free 5-day riding boot camp. In boot camp, we're gonna be doing a live training each morning on different things like in-hand work, rider biomechanics, roundness, engagement, so many fun topics to help get you back to basics and give you some really great actionable exercises and takeaways that you can implement in your riding, whether you're a beginner or a more advanced rider. Plus, after each day of the boot camp, there'll be a quick homework assignment for you to do, as well as some awesome prizes and giveaways. You're not gonna wanna miss this boot camp. I've had over 10,000 people take my boot camps, and they are so much fun. Literally, by the end of boot camp, you're gonna feel excited, inspired about your riding. You're gonna have a bunch of new exercises and ideas that you can start implementing right away to help you feel the joy of riding, to help you feel that connection and that partnership that you dream of with your horse. So do me a huge favor. You need to click the link below and RSVP so that I can get over all the details and the links for you to join the live calls. And It's gonna be super fun. So get ready to go back to school, get ready to learn some new stuff, and I'll see you in our 5-day back to school riding boot camp.